Hey guys, this is Bridget, and thank you so much for being supportive of my cooking videos. So this is a semi-cooking video because as I thought about what was most significant to share next out of anything, it is about gut health. Gut health. So I wanted to go over why the gut is not healthy in our society anymore and 3 easy tips to incorporate into your everyday diet so that you can go in that direction. So first of all, why is gut health important at all? Well, when you have good bacteria, so in your gut you have good bacteria and then there's bad bacteria. When there's too much bad bacteria, you get sick. When you have good bacteria, it actually fights off and actually boosts your immune system. So the idea is introducing good bacteria. Also, when you have good bacteria in your gut and it's healthy, it actually fights depression. It actually increases your joy, your happiness, your vibration. So it's highly significant for that as well. So focusing on the gut is really important. And some of the things that in our society that have been hurting the gut, first and foremost would be antibiotics. And even if you aren't, sick and go to the doctor and take antibiotics or flu stuff, so even if you haven't gotten sick, at some point you've probably had non-organic dairy or non-organic meat, which means that antibiotics were used because the cows are in such close proximity. They get sick, they get illnesses and bacteria, so they need the antibiotics to keep them healthy, which then that means that we're taking antibiotics, which kills our gut flora. So the first thing to do is slide away from non-organic meats and dairies, or just go off of them altogether, which is a great solution. The next thing is chlorine, K. Most of us shower in chlorine every day. A lot of people are drinking water with chlorine every day, or swimming in pools with chlorine, hot tubs with chlorine, and that also cuts and kills the gut flora as well. So if you can get a filter for your shower and really be strict on how much you're introducing chlorine into your body, and remember that the skin absorbs all of that. So do what you can. Go swimming in hot springs, go swimming in waterfalls. So that's a good way too. The third thing that's big is in our culture, we're not being breastfed anymore. I wasn't breastfed. A lot of kids, even more and more, are C-section, and that also has a vast influence on your gut flora because you get that good bacteria passed down in the breast milk from your mother, and also as you're going through the womb canal. So that's another thing. So there's quite a lot in our culture that's killing the gut, and we want to increase its health for immunity, for happiness, for overall well-being, digestion. It's good. So I have 3 tips of what to incorporate into your diet, as well as taking those things out, because one of the things that I'm really into is I won't strip something from you without giving you the solution of something new, because I want it to be something that sticks, something that's gonna be a long-term solution. So these are my 3 favorites. There's tons more, but these are just the easiest ways to start building that good gut bacteria. 1, kraut. Doesn't matter the brand. The key is that it's organic and it's raw. It's alive. It has the cultures in it. They have kraut that's pasteurized, which defeats the whole purpose. So the idea is to buy kraut, ideally make your own kraut. It's very inexpensive to make your own kraut, and there's lots of videos on YouTube on how to do that. But put a nice 4th cup of kraut on your dish at least once a day, lunch and dinner, and that's gonna get it in there so that even as you're starting your meal and you eat that first, it's gonna help the digestion. So kraut, number 1. Number 2, miso. I love miso so much. The South River miso is really great. It is a little bit more expensive. The key when you're looking at the misos is don't go for soy. That's a whole other video, but don't do soy. And the chickpea miso, they have an azuki bean miso, so there's a lot of great miso solutions, as well as Miso Masters, which is a cheaper brand outside of Asheville. They have it in most stores, and you can get a chickpea miso from them. So what do you do with this? You make miso soup. And actually, it's so nourishing, and it has a lot of minerals in it, miso does. And so for the past month, I've been having miso first thing in the morning, every morning. So it warms the digestive tract, gets the good bacteria, gets the minerals going. It's like, yes, put a little toasted sesame oil in there, and it's just phenomenal. Little nori. I'll put a little recipe below to some good miso that I make. So have miso. Now, what are other ways that you can do this? You can also put a scoop, like a small scoop, maybe like a teaspoon, a half tablespoon, into different things that you make. You can put it into hummuses, you can put it into dips, into salad dressings. So then you're culturing and adding that bacteria, the good bacteria, into all these other things that you're making. And I'll get into that in a minute, more about that. Last key about the miso, make sure not to heat it up. Now, when it's cold in the fridge and you get a boiling cup of water, you put in the cold miso and you stir it, and it won't heat up the miso to where it kills the bacteria. But if you like heat up the soup and you heat up the miso and then it's boiling, you again defeated the purpose. The key is to keep it raw, to keep this bacteria alive so that it can help us, okay? So we're not going to pasteurize everything anymore. We're just going to choose our friends and our guts will transition. Now, one of my favorite ways is, well, one, just to take a probiotic supplement. There's a lot out there, research them. I'm not the most knowledgeable on which one. I've tried different ones. I really like this powder. I'll actually put the link below. And what you're gonna do, and this is profound, and especially making your own food, is this is fresh sprouted seed hummus that I made. And one of the keys that I've found is I make, when I'm at home, bulk. Like, I'll make a half gallon of hummus, and because we usually have a lot of people around. So the thing is, when you're making stuff like that, is you don't want it to go bad if some, is left over. But when you put in some probiotic powder, it has the good bacteria. So when something goes bad, that means that like the bad bacteria starts to make it mold. Well, the good bacteria actually just creates it to be more digestible, more bioavailable. So what I would do is put a nice, maybe like half teaspoon of probiotic powder, depending on how big the quantity is, and stir it up. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna let it sit for like 4 or 5 hours outside of the fridge, depending on the temperature of the house. And then you're gonna put it in the fridge. So that means that it's cultured. That means that the good bacteria has kind of taken over. And a few things that it does. I've done experiments. I did it with a pumpkin hummus, and it was ridiculous. So I did 1 jar non-cultured, no powder. I did another jar that was cultured, had powder. Tried both of them, 5 hours later and then the next day. And what happened is I did a taste test actually with everyone in the community, and it was really fun. And the flavor of the cultured one was phenomenal. The other one was good. It was good. But the other one was phenomenal. Now, the cultured one also lasted for about 1 to 2 months in our fridge, and it stayed good because it had the good bacteria that had already been introduced into it. So it's a great way if you're making food and you don't want it to go bad, but you want to have a variety to make different dips like basil pesto or a hummus, and you just have them in the fridge over like a month or 2, and they're culturing, and then you get to have a wider variety too. So it's really helpful. So those are the main 3 key tips in introducing the good bacteria into your system, and I'll put some of these different links and different things in the description so you can check it out. So that is my gut video, because for health, for overall health, it's critical and it's something that our society needs. So that's why it's the next cooking video that I did. And if you have any specific cooking video ideas that you want me to do, leave them in the comments below. I can make anything, so let's just do it and we'll play together. And I really appreciate you watching this, and subscribe, like, share with your friends. Okay.